The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
Victory Monday!
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Victory Monday from No Credentials Required, presented by Belly Up Sports in association with Gozilla Media. My name is Ryan McCarthy. I'm one of the co-hosts. My other co-host, Dan Goldstein, couldn't make it tonight, but that's okay. We're going to keep rolling with Victory Monday on a Friday. And if you're watching this or listening to this, it's probably Saturday. But I just wanted to give you a heads up. Thank you for listening or watching Victory Monday from No Credentials Required. We are presented by Belly Up Sports in association with Gozilla Media. If you want to interact with us on social media, check us out on these channels: Twitter, or sometimes as people call it now, X, Instagram, scarcely used TikTok. It's at NoCredsREQ, Facebook.com/NoCredsREQ, YouTube.com/NoCredsREQ, and just want to remind you, for watching the replay on YouTube, go ahead and smash that like button. Smash it responsibly. Now, the podcast site is subscribed to this particular podcast, whether it be with No Credentials Required or with Victory Monday. And coming soon, Have Another Donut, a New Jersey Devils podcast, will be on the No Credentials Required family of podcasts. You can subscribe on your preferred podcast platform, whether it be Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Google Play, iHeart, TuneIn, wherever you podcast. Subscribe to us. And also, don't forget to rate and review. 5 stars is the preferred number of stars. And if you leave a review, no matter how awful or how awesome it is, I will read it to you. First, I want to give a shout out to my buddy Cole Johnson, who made this commercial for the mothership show, No Credentials Required. So just want to give you a heads up on what that is.
Join Ryan McCarthy.
I became a Jets fan because Kermit the Frog was my favorite Muppet because he was green, and the Jets wore green. That's how I became a Jets fan.
And Dustin Henry.
ESPN is cashing all in on, let's pay a few personalities and we'll just kind of fill in the gaps,
As they walk you through all of the world of sports from their perspective.
The Albany Empire, it's a literal circus.
No Credentials Required. Where, Ryan, say the tag.
Where you don't need a press pass to talk sports.
Every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. On YouTube and where you can find all podcasts.
Yeah, so that's the regular mothership program, No Credentials Required, with myself, my buddy Dustin Henry. The time's going to change. I mean, the day will change, so it's not on Monday. We were on Mondays throughout the spring and summer, but we decided to switch it up. We're going to do primarily Tuesdays for the primary show, No Credentials Required, and we might do some Wednesdays here and there because I got some personal stuff coming down the pike that's going to affect the recording day in the show. But Victory Monday will always be after a Jets game. We just couldn't do it on Tuesday because of No Credentials Required. And again, Dan had some other commitments. We couldn't fit our schedules right together this week. So we're just going to keep forging on ahead. I'll do it so alone this week, but Dan will be back next week after things calm down on his side. So here we are, the 2023 season. You know what? You might as well get it over with. Let's have ourselves an Aaron Rodgers therapy session because we got to get it out. We got to get it out, folks. And there was so much. Let's start off with this. There was so much hype that surrounded him during the offseason. You had One Jets Drive All Access, which is an amazing show. If you watch it on YouTube, One Jets Drive, One JD Production, One JD Production, excuse me. They do a tremendous job. I got to see if I can get the videographer and the producer and the director on this show. It'd be a really awesome interview, I think. And we had Hard Knocks. They didn't want to do Hard Knocks initially, but they decided, all right, let's just Let's just get it over with. Let's get Hard Knocks over with. And it actually turned out to be a really good thing for the Jets because it showed another side. I feel like it showed another side of Aaron Rodgers. He was endearing himself to his teammates, endearing himself to his coaches, endearing himself to the community around him. And he was just so he was out and about in New York City at the U.S. Open, at Yankee games, at New York Knicks games, Rangers games. Excuse me, New York Rangers games, U.S. Open, Broadway. Wherever he could put himself and make himself available and make his face known to the community that he was here for the long haul, he was there. He was there. Ribbon cuttings. I don't know if he did any ribbon cuttings, but yeah, he just wanted to show that he was all in with this team. He wanted to play for this team. We heard on Pat McAfee back in March. He wanted to play for the Jets. He wanted to play for the New York Jets in 2023. So I'm going to be a New York Jet in 2023. And all of that surrounding it finally came to a head on Monday night, September 11th, 2023. Runs out onto the field. 80,000 plus fans at MetLife Stadium, or as we call it, Jet Life Stadium. And this is the great thing about Aaron Rodgers coming here. If you watched that Monday night game, you saw green. You saw a sea of green. You saw specks of blue and red in there for the Bills because there were some Bills fans who visited, but it was primarily Jets fans, which was awesome to see. 4 plays into the season, he's done. He's done. And it seemed like the atmosphere just at MetLife Stadium, you could see it on the TV. You could see the one guy with the flipping off the camera. I don't know if flipping off a camera or somebody on the sideline. He's just frustrated. See Jets fans in shock. The Jets, I would pretty much say the Jets offense was also in shock. The reactions online, it was just, we felt so defeated. Now, personally, I'm ashamed to say this, but probably a good thing I didn't see it. I didn't see the actual play. I didn't see what happened until I got home, until I saw alerts on my phone, from text messages to messages on my personal Twitter account, which is at whoisRyanMCC, by the way, shameless plug. Shameless plug. To alerts on my phone from ESPN saying Aaron Rodgers carted off the field. I'm like, what is going on? What is going on? And I watched the play and I'm going, oh, that's not good. That's not good. And here's the weird thing. Let's run it back to 1999. All right, let's run it back to 1999. I'm old enough to remember when this happened. New York Jets coming off of an AFC Championship season where the previous year they went to the AFC Championship game. They were one half away from going to their first Super Bowl since 1969, since Super Bowl III. Unfortunately, it was John Elway's year. Broncos wound up winning that game. So there's high hopes going into the next season, going into everybody's back. And ironically enough, his left Achilles tendon on the turf of Old Giant Stadium at the Meadowlands tears his Achilles tendon. And guess what happens in this game? 4 plays in, almost 14 years. Oh, I'm sorry, almost 24 years to the day of Vinny Testaverde's injury. 22 years, 364 days later. This happens to Aaron Rodgers. We wouldn't know about the injury until Tuesday morning when the news came out that yes, he had a torn Achilles tendon. His left Achilles was torn. Now here's the thing. I thought to myself, okay, the Jets don't have to. Jets offense can't do anything to screw this up. The Jets defense have to make it respectable. The night before, the Giants had completely stunk up the joint at MetLife Stadium in front of their home fans, getting skunked by the Dallas Cowboys, who are going to be the Jets' next opponent. We'll get to that. We'll go to that in just a few moments. But I tweeted, I put on my personal Twitter, I said the Jets defense need to do enough not to make this embarrassing, because we all thought, everybody thought the Bills are just going to run crazy over the Jets. This was too far back to come. This is too hard of a loss to come back from. The Jets offense is going to miss Aaron Rodgers. It's gonna be the same old Jets, same old Zach Wilson we've seen before, and he looked like that for the first half. He had that awful interception. We'll talk about the tale of two halves in the next segment. But it just seems like. But here's the thing: it doesn't have to be defense. They go down 13-3 at halftime. They pitch a shutout in the third quarter. The Bills don't get another point until there's 2 seconds left in the game. And that Jets defense played amazingly. And I said this on No Crunches Required the other day. You want to go ahead and check out that episode? Do so. I said that the Jets defense is Josh Allen's kryptonite. And they played like they were so too. 5 sacks. They forced 3 picks and a fumble. They played awesome. The offense just had to do enough to control the ball and not turn it over. Just don't turn the ball over. Don't make stupid plays. Play hard, but do enough to help the defense. Help the defense stay off the field, keep them fresh for the last part of the game. And they did to an extent. We'll talk about the offense in just a moment. But then the news comes down the next day, and we finally learned that Aaron Rodgers is done for the season. An MRI revealed that he tore his Achilles tendon. He'll be done for the season. And it comes down to doom and gloom. Season's over. This team's gonna suck again. And this is basically what it says. I'll just gonna show this clip. You know what I mean. You know what clip it is. You know what clip it is I'm gonna show from the Water Boy. Let's just put it out there. This is pretty much what every Jets fan thought when the news came down of Aaron Rodgers being out for the year.
Oh no! We suck again!
Yeah. That's what most of the New York Jets fan base thought. Here's my encouragement. The doom and gloom doesn't have to be this way. It doesn't have to be this way. It doesn't have to be doom and gloom. We thought immediately, okay, maybe after the first half it was doom and gloom. Jets come back, they score 10 unanswered points off of 2 turnovers, the fumble and the last interception by Jordan Whitehead. We've come too far. We've come too far as a fan base. We have to trust that Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh are going to do the right thing for this team. There's a reason why Aaron Rodgers was brought in. Yes, he's hurt, but he can inspire the team in other ways. He can talk up Zach Wilson. He's brought in basically as a mentor for Zach Wilson. I wouldn't say that Aaron Rodgers was a stopgap measure. He wasn't a stopgap measure. He was there specifically to be the final piece of what could be a championship puzzle. And I still believe that this team could win a championship. Maybe not this year, but definitely next year. But we have to stop this doom and gloom mentality of Jets fans. We have to. It can't always be like this. It can't always be, oh, we're just the Jets fans, always the same old Jets every single year. No, it does not have to be this way. And Aaron Rodgers is one of those guys who believes in the power of positive thinking. Norman Vincent Peale, the power of positive thinking. When you think good thoughts, good things happen. I'm one of those guys. I'm a God guy. I'll put it out there. I'm a God guy. I'm a Christian. Love the Lord. And I believe if you put in the good things will come to you. Not necessarily right away, but the good things will come to you. It's also a long season. We still have 16 games to go. This is only week 1, guys. This is only week 1. It's not over yet. It's not over yet. We're 1-0. The Jets are 1-0. They're 1-0 in the standings. They're 1-0 in the division. Our Jets beat the Bills again. 2 wins out of 3. Out of the last 3 times that these teams have played, the Jets have beat them twice. The Jets know how to beat this team. The Jets know how to win. The Jets can do this on defense. The Jets can do this on offense. They can play defense. I'd say they're top 3 in the league. Maybe top 2. You can say that the Cowboys, that they spanked the Giants on Sunday night, pitched a shutout. Good for them. But I have reason to believe that there's weaknesses on their defense, on their offense. We'll get to that eventually. We'll get down that road. But still, Jets fans, it's a long season. Trust in JD, trust in Joe Douglas, trust in Joe Sala, trust in Joe Douglas, trust in Robert Sala. The right things are going to get done. Everybody's maturing. Everybody's a year older. Everybody's hungry. Everybody in this team is young enough and hungry enough to want to be successful. They can do it. They can do it. I believe in them. I believe in them. And you should too. So let's move on from this Aaron Rodgers therapy session. Let's talk about this football game on Monday night. And we saw the first half. It's definitely a tale of two halves. So definitely a tale of two halves, especially after the first play from scrimmage for the Jets. The Jets don't force a 3-and-out right away. They do enough to the Bills. They force stuff, I guess, with a 4-and-out, you could say, or a 5-and-out. And Jets get the ball back. MetLife Stadium's buzzing. First play from scrimmage. Breece Hall's back. 23-yard run down the left sideline. He's back. Dude had an 83-yard run later in the second quarter after Rodgers went out. The Rodgers injury happens. It just sucked the air out of the team. I think for the offense at least. Defense played inspired. They knew what their job was from the get-go, from Jump Street, as my co-host for Victory Monday would say. From Jump Street, this defense was buzzing. And even though the Bills moved down the field, moving the ball efficiently, they scored that touchdown. I still think Josh Allen was over the line when he threw that ball. Still, the Jets defense they were not breaking. They were bending, but they were not breaking. It was kind of like the old Rex Ryan days where it was bend but not break. So we go to the halftime, 13-3. And we got to talk about that Zach Wilson interception. My goodness. It was just felt like the same. We thought, you thought it. I thought it as a Jets fan. We all thought it. Everybody in the league thought it. Same old Zach Wilson throwing that pick that could have been prevented, a preventable pick. He had Dalvin cooking flat, and he tried to decide to play hero ball, try to zip it into, I think it was either Garrett Wilson or Alan Lazard, and wasn't getting picked off. And it was like, oh God, same old Zach. Here we go. But you gotta remember, there's two halves in football. There's 4 quarters. There's 4 quarters for a reason. And we're going to talk about the second half. Second half, defense is still doing their thing. They pitch a shutout almost completely in the second half. Jets offense is doing just enough. They made some adjustments. They want to take the pressure off Zach Wilson a little bit. Zach Wilson's getting hurried from the pocket. And we got to talk about, all right, offensive line, stop the cut blocks. It's not working, especially on the edge. Stop the cut block. That's what occurred. That's what happened. That's what the reason that what led to the Aaron Rodgers injury was that cut block. Dwayne Brown tried to cut Leonard Floyd down. Leonard Floyd stood back right up, sacked Aaron Rodgers. The rest was history. It's unfortunate, but they can't do stupid cut blocks. Go head to head. Make the edge rusher try to beat you, please. All right, now that rant's over. Jordan Whitehead. Oh man, we got to talk about him. He was in the right places at the right time for all 3 of those interceptions. And that last interception he had led to the score, which I will refer to as the catch. And we're going to take a listen to the call, courtesy of ESPN Radio New York. Again, I do not own the rights to this clip, so this is free and fair use. Here's Bob Wischusen. Here's the call that tied the score. As I forgot to say, there was a field goal by Greg Zuerlein. Jets get the interception. Jordan Whitehead gets the interception. Jets march down the field. Zach Wilson has a couple great throws. I give him credit where credit's due. Had some great throws. Get the Jets down the field. They're at the 3-yard line, 2nd and 3, with just about 5 minutes left. And again, here's this call. Here's that call. Bob was using on the radio call. ESPN radio in New York City again. I do not own the rights to this clip. This is for free and fair use. Here's that call.
Dalvin Cook, the lone setback. At the 4-yard line, 2nd down and goal. Zach Wilson drops back. Lob left for Garrett Wilson. One-handed catch. Oh, he's got it. That's a Jet touchdown. Garrett Wilson with an unbelievable self-tip. The one-handed snag. And the Jets are a point after away from a tie.
Again, that call from Bob Wischusen, ESPN Radio, New York City. Bob Wischusen, great guy. Love to have him on Victory Monday. We'll see. We'll see. We'll try to get him on. But that was the turning point of the game. That interception by Jordan Whitehead was the turning point of that game, led to that touchdown. Just get the extra point. Kick the ball off to the Bills. First play from scrimmage. Inside the 25. Josh Allen gets the snap. He mishandles the snap, trying to hand it off to his running back. Fumbles the ball, tries to pick it up, gets absolutely smacked by Michael Clemens. Jets recover. Inside 4 minutes, inside 4.5 minutes left in the game, and at this point they just bleed the clock down. And I thought for a second they would try to do the same type of thing that they did before with the Garrett Wilson touchdown. He was still playing man on man against his secondary opponent. But at this point, actually, gotta go back. They bleed the clock down. It's 4th and 1. 4th and 1 inside the Bills 20. It said the Bills 25-yard line. And I gotta give credit where credit's due. This is a maturation process of Robert Saleh. Instead of kicking the field goal and giving the Bills a bunch of time to march down the field and try and score a touchdown, he set ops to go on 4th and 1. Zach Wilson with the quarterback sneak gets the first down. That took a lot of stones. And I got full credit to Coach Saleh for taking that chance. And it was definitely doable. That first down was definitely doable. Zach Wilson got the push, gets the first down. The Jets make the Bills use their 3 timeouts in order to bleed the clock. Greg Zuerlein kicks the field goal. Jets go up 3. It was our first lead of the game. Period. Bills get the ball back. They drive down the field. They make it just enough so Tyler Bass can kick a field goal, make a field goal attempt. And this emotional roller coaster that had been going on all night, going on from the kickoff, actually before the kickoff, all the way up until 10 seconds left in the game, the emotional roller coaster would continue as Tyler Knox has the leg. You see that going towards the right goal post of that end zone. And if he had hit it just enough to the outside, it would have doinked off that post and he would have missed the field goal. Instead, it goes towards the inside, hits it right at the flag, doink, goes over. We're going to overtime. And this emotional roller coaster just continues. I'm sitting at home and I was standing up at that point because I'm doing the dance of, come on, guys, we're going to do this. We got to win this game. And Tyler Bass hits that field goal and it doinks it off that goal post. And I just sit down going, gotta go through 10 more minutes of this. We gotta go through 10 more minutes of this roller coaster, of this glass case of emotions. But Bills win the toss. 3 and out. Jets defense doing their thing, as they have all night. So the Bills are forced to punt, and Xavier Gibson is waiting at his the Bills' 36-yard line. And this call, again, courtesy by Bob Wischusen, Marty Lyons, courtesy of ESPN New York, Again, I do not own the rights. This is for free and fair use only. Let's go ahead and play that clip. Play that sweet, sweet clip.
And getting away, a line drive kick is Sam Martin. Gibson runs under it at the Jet 35. Starts to his left, gets to the 40, turns the corner at the 45-50. Blockers in front at the 40, at the Bills 30, inside the 20. Stutter steps to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown! It's a Jet touchdown! This game is over!
What a way to end Monday Night Football. Gibson's going to take this one back. 63 yards for the touchdown.
I apologize. It was at the Bills' 37-yard line. What? I was jumping up and down in my living room at that point. Up and down. If you felt some seismic activity coming from the Saratoga, New York region, that were me. That were me. I wasn't getting my chair, but oh man, I was trying not to wake anybody else in the house, so I was doing so quietly. What a game! What an emotional roller coaster! What an incredible game! And this is only week 1. This is only week 1. We have 16 more weeks of this, guys. Fellow Jets fans. Oh man! All right, we got to take a quick commercial break from our friends at SeatGeek. After we come back, we're going to go over the players of the game, where the Jets go from here. So stay tuned for more Victory Monday on a weekend here with no credentials required. Hey everyone, it's Ryan from No Credentials Required to talk to you about one of our newest partners at Belly Up Sports, SeatGeek. Yeah, live sports is great on television, but the feeling of being at the arena is a priceless experience. That's why our friends at SeatGeek are there to help you find the best tickets at the best prices. Not only can you get tickets to sporting events, but you can also get tickets to concerts, comedy shows, musicals, and more. Search for your desired event now at SeatGeek.com, enter promo code BellyUpSports at checkout, and you save $20 off your first purchase. SeatGeek. Life's an event. We have the tickets. That's right, folks. If you want to get yourself down to a Jets game or any other game during the season, check out SeatGeek, SeatGeek.com. And for your first order of $50 or more, enter promo code BellyUpSports at checkout. You get $20 off that order. So, again, football season's here. Get yourself to a game. And say, baseball season's around here too. Hockey season starts soon. Basketball season starts soon. SeatGeek.com has your tickets. And again, get $20 off your first order of $50 or more. Use promo code BellyUpSports at checkout. We're going to talk about the players of the game. And the players of this game, this was I had a hard time deciding this. At least for offense, this was pretty easy. Breece Hall, first game back from his ACL tear. You could not tell that he had an ACL tear in this game. You could not tell. He was coming back from that injury. 10 rushes, 127 yards. Those 2 big runs in the first half. That first run, that 23-yard burst on the first play of the game for the Jets offensively, and that 83-yard run that set them up for their first points of the game that tied the score early in the second quarter. He also had a reception for 20 yards, which kept the drive alive on 2 targets. He also had a fumble, but fumble went out of bounds. It's okay. It went out of bounds. It didn't really do anything bad for the Jets, but ball protection is important, Breece. Ball protection is important. But it was nice to see that the Jets were incorporating that they were doing a little mix-up of him and Dalvin Cook, but Breece Hall, he was the offensive player of this game for the Jets. Defensive player of the game, I gotta do 2. I gotta give a co-player of the week this week. Quincy Williams, what a game he had! What an outstanding game he had. He had 10 tackles. 1 tackle for a loss, and he had a pass defended, which came on a wheel route. And finally, the Jets have someone to cover a freaking wheel route on this defense. Because hey, let's just say CJ Mosley, love you, but he can't cover anymore. But Quincy Williams, he's got that jam, got that juice, and it became really important when the Bills were driving, and which wound up being a field goal. But if he's not defending that pass, he's not defending not Dalvin Cook. He's not defending James Cook on that wheel route in the second quarter. That's a touchdown. That's a touchdown. But Quincy Williams is there. Again, 9 tackles, 1 for tackle for loss. And our other player of the week, again, Jordan White had 3 interceptions. 2 of those interceptions, which led to that last interception led to the game-tying touchdown and that amazing catch by Garrett Wilson. Special teams, yeah, we gotta give it to Xavier Gibson, 63-yard punt return for a touchdown, the walk-off touchdown, and that set MetLife Stadium ablaze in terms of crowd just going crazy. Because listen, I mean, I've not been at the stadium, but if you were at the stadium, you were there for that game. You saw probably one of the greatest Jets wins in the last half decade. Period. And it was all thanks to Xavier Gibson, who was one of the stars of Hard Knocks. So great game for him. Congratulations to the rookie. He was saying before the game, I'm gonna get one. And he got one. And won the game for the Jets. New York Jets. 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 They're 1-0. 1-0 in the division. 1-0 in the standings. Great job. All right. Now that Aaron Rodgers is out for the season, we got to talk about where the Jets go from here. So the Jets have a couple options. And my first option, which is probably the option that they'll take, is that they're going to stick with Zach Wilson. They've already said publicly, we're going to stick with Zach Wilson. He's our guy. He's our guy going forward. There's no turning back. But I think what they're going to do, and this would be very wise, this is going to be a move that Joe Douglas and I think Robert Saleh will agree is probably the wiser move, is to reevaluate things during the bye week. The Jets have a relatively early bye week this year. They have a bye week in week 7. It's coming close to the NFL trade deadline. And I think what they'll do is from here, and the trade deadline is October 31st. So Halloween is the trade deadline. What they'll want to do is see where they are during the bye week and see where they are after the Chargers game and after the Giants game. See where they, and just reevaluate the position. Let's say, okay, do we have the assets to make a move? If the Titans or the Vikings are out of it, do they trade for Ryan Tannehill, or do they possibly trade for Kirk Cousins? Dare I say Kirk Cousins, the guy who spurned the Jets a couple of years ago and forced their hand in trading and picking up Sam Darnold in the 2018 NFL draft. Do they go after Jameis Winston? Do they go after Jacoby Brissett? Do they go after Taylor Heineke? We don't know. I mean, this is the option that the Jets have options. So I'm just kind of putting out there as to what they can do. And I think the best plan of action would be to stick with Zach Wilson, reevaluate where they are after the bye week, and if they decide to make a trade, get a more experienced, get a veteran quarterback in here who can possibly take them over the edge. I mean, Kirk Cousins is a free agent after this season. So is Ryan Tannehill. And again, if the Vikings or the Titans are out by then, could we see a move? We don't know. We don't know what the Titans or the Vikings are going to want in return. So I don't see them trying to get a first round pick for one of those quarterbacks. That would be if there's one thing that Joe Douglas can do with trades for players, he can fleece a team. We saw what he could do. We saw what he did with the Jamal Adams trade. Turned into Garrett Wilson and Elijah Vera Tucker. That's what it turned into. This is where they're key contributors to this team as of right now. So we know what Joe Douglas can do in terms of swindling other teams for a player. What kind of they'll probably say something to the effect of, I'll give you a 4th round pick and a 3rd round pick in 2025. No, that's all you'll get. I don't know. We'll see. So that's the plan I think they'll go with, is just to reevaluate after the bye week and see what they do from there. The other option is to sign a free agent quarterback and then have them learn the system from Nathaniel Hackett. From what I understand, Nathaniel Hackett, his system is very, I wouldn't say complicated, but it's a system that's tailored toward Aaron Rodgers. That's why they brought him in to be the offensive coordinator. It would take whoever's coming in, it would take them a month to figure stuff out. You've got your Carson Wentz's, you got your Joe Flacco's, you got your, I can't believe I'm going to say this, Cam Newton's. You've got your Matt Ryans. He's in the booth right now. He hasn't officially retired, put in his paperwork. Some have said Tom Brady. That would be impossible. That'd be funny. That would be hysterical. But in order for Tom Brady to play, he would have to get reinstatement. He would have to sell his share of the Las Vegas Raiders. Remember, he's part owner of he has a share of the Las Vegas Raiders now. And he would have to get himself reinstated because he's filed his retirement papers. Matt Ryan has not filed his retirement papers. Neither has Joe Flacco. They both said they can still play the game. Do I trust either of them? I don't know. Will the Jets bring either of them for a workout? I don't know. We'll see. But it's going to take some time for them, whoever they bring in, to learn this system. It's a very I wouldn't say it's a complicated system. Again, it's tailored toward Aaron Rodgers. That's exactly why they brought him in. Now that Aaron Rodgers is out, it's time to go forward with something else. So we'll have to see what the Jets do from here. And they got options. They got option A, stick with Zach Wilson, make an evaluation after the bye week. And the other option is to bring in a free agent quarterback. And also, speaking of free agent quarterbacks, please, let me show you a clip from our latest episode of No Coaches Required, where Dustin and I talk about a certain erstwhile quarterback who is uber woke and uber pain in the ass. Pardon my English. And I'm gonna put this lady on full blast, Jamel Hill, who used to be on SportsCenter until she basically burned that bridge. She used to be on Spotify, that she burnt that bridge. Mm-hmm. She had a memoir that sold a little over 5,000 copies. She said this last night after the game was over, and she put this on the internet. She said, and I quote, "There's a quarterback right there in New Jersey who took a team to the Super Bowl and an NFL championship game. Rhymes with Kaepernick."
Yeah, it's been too long. It's been too long.
I'll say this, and there'll be my last word about the man himself. Mm-hmm. This guy has made more money from his social justice grift than he ever made in the NFL. He's 35 years old. He hasn't played down in the NFL since burning that bridge 7 years ago. His skill set does not match with what the Jets are doing offensively, and he'll make a rider list like he's a rock star a mile long just to be brought in. Absolutely not.
Well, and the other thing is, let's not pretend there were two teams that would have brought him in if they thought they could still play. And I would say the Raiders would have kicked the tires on him many times because I
think Mark Davis mentioned that he would have kicked the tires on him.
And also, I would say that given some of the quarterback, this would have been prior to Prescott, but Jerry Jones would have found a way to bring him in because Jerry Jones has also brought in players. You know, he brought Greg Hardy back. If you have talent in the NFL, someone will sign you. So the fact that he has not been signed, whether you can think whatever you want, but there would have been an owner. You're telling me that at some point the Dan Snyder owned Redskins wouldn't have given him there are some teams. If you have talent in the NFL, someone will sign you. Talent overrides all.
And that's the last word on Colin Kaepernick you'll ever hear on this podcast. All right, folks, we're going to take another break. Have a word from our friends at Mahler Brothers Golf. When we come back, we'll preview the Dallas game coming up on Sunday afternoon as my cat tries to eat my monitor. And again, thanks for joining us. Thanks for being with us. We'll be right back with Victory Monday on a weekend. Stay tuned. Hey everyone, it's Ryan from No Credentials Required here to tell you about Mahler Brothers Golf. We all want to look good in the golf course, but it often comes at the expense of feeling good. Mahler Brothers Golf has polos that look good and feel good. With their lightweight and stretchy material that hugs your body, you will feel cool while looking just as cool. Their polos are guaranteed to make you look better, but it's up to you to golf better. On a hot summer's day on the golf course, there's no polo that you would rather wear than Mahler Brothers Golf signature polos. Mahler Brothers Golf has a large catalog of polos with designs for those who want a loud design and others for those who want a subtle and sleek looking design. They also have fun t-shirts, hats, tumblers, and so much more to make your golfing experience better. Head to MahlerBrothers.com. It's MAHLERBROS. Use promo code BELLYUP at checkout for 15% off. That's right, folks. Mahler Brothers, MAHLERBROS.com. Use promo code BELLYUP at checkout for 15% off your order. Get yourself some quality made golf shirts so you look good on the course, you feel good on the course. When you look good, you feel good. When you feel good, well, you might golf good. We'll see. And I'm pretty sure they'll have a Gotham Green shirt, a Gotham Green polo. You can probably order yourself a custom green polo. Got a wide variety of colors, from the bold to the sublime to just the regular fit. Whatever you, and t-shirts, tumblers, hats, whatever you got, whatever you need, whatever your golfing needs are, they have it. And they have their own coffee now. You can get your own coffee at Mahler Brothers Golf. It's MAHLERBROS.com. And again, use promo code BELLYUP at checkout for 15% off your order. Let's talk about this game with the Dallas Cowboys coming up on Sunday afternoon, 4:25 p.m. Eastern start. And this is a pretty important game because, again, this is the first full game, although you could argue Monday night's game was a pretty full game with Zach Wilson in the lineup. But this is a Dallas team that again, they skunked the New York Giants in New York on opening at MetLife Stadium on opening night on Sunday night. Now, this Jets team is not the Giants. Let's just put it out there. This Jets team is not the Giants. All right. This is what the Jets need to do on offense. They need to keep things simple. They need to give Zach Wilson a chance to succeed. They got to make the offense kind of tailored to his style. The kid can run. He's a runner. So he knows he can run the ball when he needs to run the ball. They can move him out of the pocket, get him some work, design this offense to where he can roll out of the pocket and find receivers. He's done this before with Garrett Wilson getting open, with Corey Davis getting open. You can do the same thing with Wilson and with Al Lazard, Randall Cobb, those guys. Run the ball effectively. Dallas has got a pretty good front seven. They had a great time stopping the Giants on Saturday or Sunday night, but this is not the same. They're not playing the Giants again. They're playing the New York Jets. The New York Jets ran the ball to the tune of 172 yards on Monday night against a pretty decent Buffalo Bills defense. They can grind that ball, run the ball effectively, and that'll help set up the pass. Running the ball effectively will help set up the pass. It'll give the Zach Wilson the best chance of succeeding. This is what happened with the Jets when they had Mark Sanchez back in the 2009-2010. They ran the ball well, which limited Mark Sanchez's mistakes. They can do the same thing for Zach Wilson. They run the ball effectively, takes the pressure off his shoulders, lets him do the work he can. And also, the offensive line has to play better. They had to play much better than they did on Monday night. Again, stop the cut blocks on the edges. They're playing Micah Parsons, who's one of the best edge rushers in the league on Sunday. The week after that, they got Matt Judon. All right. This cut blocking is not going to stop them. This is a new NFL. Everybody's super athletic. No more cut blocks. This offensive line needs to play better. And they got to win the trenches. They got to win those trenches on the offense. On defense, wash, rinse, repeat. Wash, rinse, repeat. Stop the run. Stop the run. They only allowed 97 yards rushing, and Josh Allen was the second leading rusher for this Buffalo Bills team, which is, again, that's their bread and butter. Dak Prescott is not so much of a runner, but he's more of a pocket passer. But they can stop Tony Pollard from running the ball. They forced Dak Prescott to make bad throws like they did Josh Allen the other night by getting in his face, sacking him. Again, Jets defense had 5 sacks against Josh Allen's Buffalo Bills on Monday night. They can do the same thing against this offensive line of the Dallas Cowboys. Again, to reiterate, hate to be a broken record, wash, rinse, repeat. Stop the run, get in Dak Prescott's face, sack him. If they can force Josh Allen to throw 3 interceptions, they can force Dak Prescott to throw at least 2. So, and I've already said, I know credentials required. I mentioned this a couple times. For every interception that Dak Prescott throws, as he mentioned before the season, he said he's going to throw less than 10 interceptions this year. For every interception that Dak Prescott throws, I will throw $50 towards his organization. So let me be charitable, Jets defense, and force Dak Prescott to throw interceptions. I don't have a final score prediction. I don't want to make final score predictions because it comes back to haunt me every single time. This is why I don't like to bet on sports books either, because I hate losing money. But the point spread is 9 right now. It's 9 points in favor of Dallas. Bet the under. Bet the Jets to cover or win. And that's all I gotta say. I'm hoping that. So please, Jets, don't let me down. Don't let us down on Sunday afternoon. But it's going to be an enjoyable game. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game again. I think all these games going forward for the Jets are going to be lower-scoring games unless Zach Wilson absolutely balls out and throws the ball all over the place. But I don't see that happening unless he gets really, really comfortable in this offense and he gets in a groove. But it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think the Jets will keep it close. If not, take the victory out of Dallas and in front of Jerry and at Jerry World, or Gerald World, as my friends Cole Johnson and Victor Locke say. But yeah, it's going to be an entertaining game, just like Monday Night Football is entertaining. We're going to be in that emotional roller coaster again, folks. Jets fans, we're going to be in that emotional roller coaster again Sunday afternoon. But it's going to be a good time. I think the Jets will keep things more competitive than that 9-point spread says so. So on to Dallas, Jets, Jets. All right, folks, thanks for joining me on this edition of Victory Monday, the weekend edition, because we couldn't record ahead of time. Again, before we leave, just want to remind you about our social media channels on Twitter or X, Instagram, TikTok at NoCredsREQ, Facebook.com/NoCredsREQ, YouTube.com/@NoCredsREQ. On the podcast side, subscribe to the podcast on a myriad of podcast platforms, your preferred podcast platform, whether it be Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, all the way down the line. Subscribe for more Jets content, for more NFL content, period. And coming soon, New Jersey Devils content. You don't want to miss out if you're a New Jersey Devils fan. And also, rate and review 5 stars is preferred number of stars to rate us at. And again, if your review is really cool or if you're a jerk face, I'll read your review on the air. So thanks for joining me in this edition of Victory Monday from No Credentials Required. We are always presented by Belly Up Sports in association with Gozilla Media. My name is Ryan McCarthy. I've been one of your hosts. Dan Goldstein will be back next time. But until then, let's go Jets. Keep flying.
The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
Victory Monday!